Hello and good morning. If I were you, I'd take precaution. Bonjour. Comment ça va? About to see my boyfriend, Paul. Wish me luck. What do you need luck? Is your boyfriend like a serial killer or something? You're hoping he takes a shine to you and doesn't kill you or what? What do you need luck to see your boyfriend? It should be a distinctly luck-free environment there. Spank the other cheek. This time the left one is getting raw. Dude, I don't know if I'll be spanking any cheeks. What's for dinner or lunch tonight? Probably leftover pot roast, I would imagine, for dinner. But I don't know if I'll have a lunch or what. We'll see how it figures out. Like, I don't know. I sometimes don't eat until dinner. Sometimes I'll have like a little bite of something before dinner. We'll see how it works out today. Pot roast. Ooh, that sounds good. Good afternoon, Clarice. It's good to see you again. Dude, crock pots are fucking dope. Like that's the piece of kitchen tech that every like person starting out, like if I ever, like I've got a bunch of nieces and nephews, and if they're ever like moving out into their own place for the first time and I want to get a housewarming gift, I'm sending a fucking crock pot. I'm telling you, dude. A crock pot and or a George Foreman, and you can cook like 90% of everything. How's the weather on Mars? Walking tacos. A Midwestern taco specialty combining Doritos, taco meat, cheese, and whatever else you want to add. I mean, it sounds delicious, but it also sounds blasphemous. Like the Midwest and tacos sounds like blasphemy to me. But it doesn't sound bad. I'm just skeptical of a Midwest taco. Tacos. Would you like a taco? No, I'm a bit of a fucking, you know, Mexican food purist. I grew up in an area where there were actual like Hispanic people opening up taquerias and stuff that, you know, taste like what you get in Mexico. How would your tacos fare in a blizzard? No, I mean it sounds pretty dope. I mean like you can't go wrong with like crushed up Doritos, taco meat, and cheese. You know what I mean? Just throw that fucking shit in a bowl and eat it, and it's good. Let alone putting it on a taco. I'm from SoCal, and whenever I visit my relatives up by Portland, they insist on going out for Mexican food. Yeah. Taco Bell is the word. It's not Mexican food, so don't like quit trying to judge Taco Bell by a standard that it never meant to reach, dude. Taco Bell was never meant to be Mexican food. It was meant to be Americanized Mexican food. Take the taco and make it an American thing and mass produce it and sell it to people. Yeah, it was never meant to be like actual Mexican food there. You're sick with food poisoning? That sucks, Meg. Should have sniffed that burrito before you ate it. Sniff, sniff, motherfucker. That burrito doesn't smell good. Taco Bell is there for you when you need it. Oh yeah, dude, me too. I'll never stop going to Taco Bell, but I also don't go to Taco Bell going like, you know what, I want Mexican food tonight. Let's get Taco Bell. It's like, no, it was bad sushi. Reason number fucking 10,000 that I don't eat sushi. Reason number fucking 10,000 that I will not eat sushi. My mom got salmonella from Taco Bell back in the 90s. Yeah, there was a couple of outbreaks of E. coli and salmonella at some food, like fast food joints in the 90s. I remember that. I remember Jack in the Box basically had to reinvent itself because there was this nationwide E. coli infection outbreak from their meat. Like a bunch of people got sick. I think a couple people died. And a lot of people thought, like, well, that's it for fucking Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box had to reinvent itself. I mean, it happens. Should restaurants aim for authenticity when preparing ethnic cuisines? No. I mean, like, if you want to open a restaurant, make whatever you want, but don't expect people to fucking be overjoyed with it if it's not authentic. You know what I mean? Like authenticity, especially in like Mexican food, to me is like really important. The cooking methods, the slow and low kind of way that they do meat, the spices, and I'm particularly fond of Jalisco Mexican food, which, almost always comes with a big grilled fucking jalapeno pepper and some rice. What is wrong with you, poop poop? You're starting to speak more now. Poop. He's starting to actually speak in sentences now. I think our little poop poop has grown up. He's not really saying anything intelligible, but hey. He's going to be poop, poop, poop soon, you think? Jesus. Jesus Christ. Poop. Windy here today, yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be windier later today, apparently. Got ourselves a little windstorm coming. Am I ever gonna finish the deck? No. Boys to Men, ABC, BBD, the East Coast family. Told my girlfriend about your cyst story just a second ago, and she was disturbed by it. No shit. She was disturbed by the most disturbing thing that's ever fucking happened to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. Embarrassing drop you mask stories? What? What? Did TJ pay Scotty yet? I fucking don't know, dude. I honestly do not know if Scotty has been paid. I told Scotty he might have to fucking hire the goon with the tire iron to get fucking things taken care of. Dude, it was almost a crime to break that bud up. Fuck. I should have just framed that bud. At least I should have shown it to you guys for posterity before I busted it all up. Because Jesus Christ, that was a pretty bud. Are you in a legal state? Paul lives in Derry, Maine. Yep, you got it. You got me. I moved to Derry, Maine. Castle Rock. I want to move to Nevada. I want to move to Nevada. Cynic is paying him in installments. Is TJ making him pay points on it? That's all right, Audie. It's all right. But you know I'm going to have to charge you points. Do you think Kevin Spacey could make a comeback? Do I? Yes. I do think so. I don't know so, but I think so. Kevin Spacey is a talented enough actor that I think enough time goes by and he gets the right role and people will just not care. Most people, at least. Pretty sure. Dude, I saw Jim Belushi is like this old actor from the 80s and shit. He's a weed man now. Like Jim Belushi owns like some big fucking pot dispensary now. I learned that today. I was like, what? I saw Jim Belushi, and then with the blue check, and it was a picture of some beautiful weed, and he said, "Let everybody know that Jim Belushi has got that gas." That's John Belushi's brother, yeah. I was like, "What? Jim Belushi's got the gas?" And I went and looked, and he does. He's got the gas. He's got the Belushi gas, dude. What the fuck? Who knew? Is gas some new slang? I don't really think it's all that new. I think it's a piece of regional slang that took off. Like, I didn't hear gas a whole lot growing up on the West Coast. So I think it's a piece of Southern slang like loud that took off, and now everybody is hearing it. Yeah, dude. I'd smoke some sour Belushi as well, dude. I didn't know. I didn't know that Jim Belushi was a fucking weed man now. Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia are also coming back from Me Too accusations. No one ever came up with evidence or press charges. I don't even know who either of those two people are, so. It's the worst state I've lived in, Louisiana. You a fan of hash or just stick to them greens? I stick to them greens. I'm a sad Bert Kreischer. The machine. What was so bad about Louisiana? The weather, the politics, the infrastructure. Did I mention the weather? Well, the bugs are part of the weather for me. If you got a certain type of weather, you got a certain type of bugs. And they've got the weather that all bugs love. Cucarachas y mosquitos y, fucking everything that crawls and creeps under the sun. Yeah, hurricanes every fucking day. I was in the cone of 8 this year, personally. In the cone of 8 major hurricanes is a new record. That's it. Are people very political in Louisiana? They're very overtly conservative in Louisiana, or at least in the area that I was living in. When you live on the West Coast for most of your life, the South is the last place you want to be, in my experience. You're probably right. You're probably right about that. Food's good, yeah. Cajun food, good. Amelia learned to make, like, killer-ass red beans and rice. So, I still get to eat delicious Cajun food. I just don't have to live in a horrible Cajun environment. I gotta say, Seattle has, like, the best weather for me. Yeah, that area is pretty good. The fact that you even agreed to move there is disturbing. Really? It's disturbing? What's disturbing about that? What's up, side chain Blaine? Dude, that's definitely at least 35. Nobody's named Blaine anymore, number one. So that's a dead giveaway that you're old. Number two, nobody wears a fucking wallet chain anymore. So if you're side chain Blaine, you got to be at least 35. Paul, I know you have Marshall Manson, but I'm also a hip hop producer. Wondering if I could send some beats to see if Beauregard could vibe with. Okay, yeah, I mean, well, go ahead. Like, I'm not, Marshall works with other folks, and I work with if your beats fucking hit, but Marshall's beats hit. You know what I mean? Every beat. Every beat Marshall has sent me, he's like, hey man, you want to fuck with this? And I listen to it, and I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. Hello, Paul. Enjoying your Saturday. So far, so good, yeah. Can't complain so far. How would my hair fare in a blizzard? Not good. Got my first vaccine shot. Holy shit, my arm is sore. That's what I hear. Here it's like getting punched a bunch of times in the arm. You get all sore. My stepdad is scheduled to get his. So that's good news. Still no word on when my mom can get hers. My stepdad is getting his through the VA. Still no word on when I'll be able to get mine. Or Amelia will be able to get hers. I know the whole I was born in the wrong gen is cringy as fuck, but I honestly feel like I'm an isolated node when it comes to my music taste and can't enjoy my music with anybody. Everybody I know is a what? Is a what? Is a what? Oh yeah, dude, Marshall. I as soon as I can fucking get vaccinated, I'm going on a trip. Like as soon as I can get vaccinated and make sure that it's relatively safe to do so, I'm going back east. Oh, you're a hard rock guy. You miss the humidity? No, I just have shit that I want to do on the East Coast. I've got a tattoo appointment to make. I've got a fucking Marshall Manson to visit. I've got Amelia's grandma lives in New York. Got things to do on the East Coast. Fucking A. Got shit to do. If you're put in charge of turning any Stephen King book into a movie, which would you choose? I wouldn't, probably. I don't think Stephen King translates well into film form most of the time, so I wouldn't make a Stephen King movie. Come to Atlanta where the players play, yeah. Come and ride with me, neighbor. Let me show you where we kick it at. Where hoe bitches be snitching at and often come up missing at. New York or LA? If I could choose, what are you talking about? Like, which city is better? Which one would I choose to live in? New York. Paul, what would you say is your favorite cuisine? Or top three, if you don't have a clear number one? Cuisine. My favorite cuisine. I like Mexican, Central American, South American food. I like Indian food. And I like Mediterranean foods, probably in that order, too. What bureau in New York? What borough, not bureau, in New York do I prefer? I don't. I think these some of the easier horror to translate compared to Lovecraft, Poe, or Universal monsters. I don't think so. I don't think that Stephen King's writing style translates well into film. And I think that the proof of that is the fact that most Stephen King movies don't come out all that great. Like most Stephen King adaptations don't come out all that great. There's a few very notable exceptions to that, but I just don't think he translates all that well. It's hard to make a Stephen King movie because he repeats themes so much. Like, he's such a theme repeater. I think that's one of the ways that he turns out as many books as he does, is he's got, like, this core idea, and he kind of builds different horror stories around it. But there's just so much of, like, the group of kids that were good, the group of kids that were bad. The good kids are trying to, figure out some evil in the town. The bad kids are corrupted by it, et cetera, et cetera. It just shows up over and over and over again in his work. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not watching Doctor Sleep. I can't bring myself to do it. I've seen some of the blasphemous like reshoots of Stanley Kubrick's fucking original Shining that happened in that movie, and I can't deal. I can't do it. I've never read Under the Dome, no. You don't want to ruin The Shining? Yeah, I don't want to watch a movie that has a bunch of hackneyed reshoots of fucking Stanley Kubrick's film. I don't. Remember a while ago you said you wanted to make a documentary. What? Oh, you retracted it. You retracted it. I was reading your fucking comment. You retracted it. How dare you? Oh yeah, dude. My parents have horrible taste in movies, but I love it. Like, I actually love it. Yeah, dude, he chat cock teased me. The fucking asshole. He chat cock teased me. You ever get into The Walking Dead? I watched the first season of Walking Dead, I think, and then I got into the second season and got bored and stopped watching it. Ouija, are you with me? Murder, murder, murder. Ouija, are you with me? Dear Mr. Ouija, I want to know my future. Something insanely interesting to bring up as a topic. I see it. I saw it. You tried to pull it, but I've read too fast. Hey, Paul, how do you eat food with a long beard? I'm starting to grow one, and it's getting annoying. You deal with it. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to eat smaller bites, and you have to eat more carefully than you would if you didn't have a beard. Otherwise, you get a bunch of food in your beard. And sometimes that just happens anyway. Like, there's certain kinds of food where I basically have to have, like, a giant stack of napkins. Like a big sloppy sandwich or a burger. There's no fucking, like, dignified way to eat something like that with a big-ass beard. So you got to make the sacrifice. I don't know what to tell you. Corn on the cob, yeah. What do you think about the idea that reality could not be any different, that every atom was sent on its inevitable course as soon as the Big Bang happened and there are no coincidences? Yeah, that's determinism. That's what I believe to be quite likely the case. Where's your adorable doggy? He's still sleeping. Amelia is still sleeping, and he's curled up next to her. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. Radio won't even play my jam. Sometimes I just feel like my father. I hate to be bothered with all of this nonsense. It's constant and it's his lyrical content. That song, Guilty Conscience, has gotten such rotten responses, and all of this controversy circles me, and it seems like the media immediately points a finger at me. So I point one back at him, but not the index or pinky or the ring or the thumb. It's the one you put up when you don't give a fuck, when you just won't put up with the bullshit they pull. Oh, just never stops. When a kid's getting bullied and shoots up his school and they blame it on Maryland or the heroin, where were the parents at? And look where it's at, middle America. Now it's a tragedy. Now it's so sad to see. Do you think his music was better post-drugs or pre-drugs? There are two Eminems, and this is one of the reasons why Eminem is and always and forever will be one of the greatest fucking MCs that ever lived. Right? I prefer Eminem's older stuff, but Eminem operated in a creative space that was fueled by drugs. Taught himself to rap in that fucking space where he was fueled by constant use of drugs. Became a fucking superstar. with that style. How to get clean. Once he got clean, he realized he couldn't do it the same way. And so he taught himself to rap again. And now he's better again than everybody else. That's it. Like, I may not be a huge, giant fucking fan of his newer music, but when I listen to it, it's fucking insane. It's done with a level of passion and skill that nobody can even fucking partially replicate. There are better rappers than modern Eminem for sure. I could name 5. No, you couldn't. Did you hear about the professor that talked down to a deaf student on Zoom because her translator in her ear was a little slow? No, I didn't. I do not. Ugh. All right, I'm high. Highness achieved. Why would a deaf kid have a translator in their ear? Yeah, I think she meant like a translator, you know what I mean? Like the fucking closed caption translator or whatever the fuck. I'm high on life. It's like a hearing aid thing. Oh, she had like a cochlear implant or something. It's like my stepdad is functionally deaf. He can barely hear anything without his hearing aids in, but with his hearing aids in, he can hear us. So, got any dating advice for us? Nope. Nope. Something tells me that you're not actually Pimp Monk. And that means that you're impersonating Pimp Monk, which means that you're probably due for a ban. Probably due for a ban. Unless you're the real Pimp Monk. But I don't think you are. The questions that you ask don't seem like the real Pimp Monk. Well, change your fucking name or get the fuck out. I don't like impersonators. I don't like people who show up and say shit and other people fucking assume that the shit that they're saying is somebody else. So go make another fucking account, dipshit. Will the real Pimp Monk please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. People stepping out of their lane. Yep. Isn't there some guy named Condo Paul or something? Not anymore. Paul, I really related to your parents' divorce story and how your childhood ended at that point. Same happened to me. I think many Americans' financial problems and all. Yep. That's why, like, it's one of the craziest and most destructive things that a child can go through. It literally upends your life and turns it into something that's unrecognizable. It's crazy. And something around 70% of marriages end in horrible, tragic divorce. And amongst that 70%, what percentage have children? I don't know. But that's a lot of kids. Pulling all Hannibal, yeah. Multiple MIGs in the next cell. He hissed something at you as you walked by. What was it? He said, I can smell your cunt. Ah. I myself cannot. Yesterday's Highdeology, you talked about the space spiders. Do you think they're head crab size, like in Half-Life, or as big as a car or bus? I think they're all sizes. I mean, they're going to need different sizes of things to infiltrate different buildings and infiltrate different hiding places and stuff, right? So I think that there are giant fucking, like, horizon-filling destructo beasts, and I think there are tiny little microscopic versions of them that seek out, underground things and things that are hiding in sealed buildings and such. The dark jungle theory. I've never heard of it for the Hannibal impression. Thank you. The multiple MIGs scenes are a couple of my favorite little exchanges that he and Clarice have. What about your father, Clarice? Did he sodomize you? Or no, what does he ask her? I can't remember what impertinent question he asks her. Oh yeah, that's right. He asks her about Jack Crawford. He's like, do you ever envision scenarios between you and Jack Crawford? Dating him, fucking him, or whatever he says. She says, I don't know. That question, quite frankly, sounds like something that multiple MIGs would say. And he looks at her and it's not anymore. We heard Lecter whisper into MIGs all night. He swallowed his tongue. I love that movie, dude. You do tell me when those lambs stop screaming, Clarice. I love how he drove MIGs crazy. Yep. What about other invertebrates like centipedes or arthropods or crayfish? It'd be cool to have a subatomic space bugs. Is all I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to be like all sizes. There'll be big, giant, fucking tiger-sized ones. There'll be like little tiny ones, swarms of little tiny ones. There'll be big, like tank-like ones that are meant for taking out big cities and facing militaries. They're just waiting. The space spiders. Red Dragon is a dope movie. Hard to go wrong with Ralph Fiennes and Ed Norton. Yeah. Did you know that Ralph is supposed to be pronounced Rafe? His name is not Ralph Fiennes, it's Rafe Fiennes. Isn't that interesting? Why not spell it Rafe then? I don't know. You got me, kid. I'm just letting you know, like, how he wants his name pronounced. You see, Billy's not a real transsexual. Not in the sense that Benjamin Raspel was. His real pathology is 1,000 times more terrifying and savage. It's a problematic line from the original. In fact, there's, like the whole idea of Silence of the Lambs having this transsexual person kill women in order to become them is pretty reflective of, like, yeah, reflective of the general population's ideas about transsexuals at that time, for sure. Unfortunate transphobia, kind of, yeah. Great. There's a new strain in Southern California that you can't be vaccinated against. Fan-fucking-tastic. Silence of the Lambs seems to be coming up a lot, coincidentally, in normal conversation these days. It seems like a collective consciousness thing nowadays. I mean, I think it's just gaining in popularity because people are starting to seek out these old movies, because we've had, like 2020 was dismal for film. And whether you're like a film buff or just a casual film watcher, 2020 was a dismal year. Like, all of these studios held back all their big franchises. We didn't get any big blockbuster kind of popcorn films last year. It was just a horrible year. And so I really honestly think that people are starting to go back and discover these old films, and that's cool. That's one of the things that Amelia and I really bonded over in the early days of our relationship. She loves discussing movies, but just hadn't seen a lot of old, what I, considered to be classic films and shit. And sitting down and watching those movies with her for the first time has been really fun. It also seems to be relevant to culture war talking points. ContraPoints and Lindsay Ellis both made videos heavily featuring the film. Yeah, I did actually see the ContraPoints movie or the ContraPoints, well, it was basically movie length, the ContraPoints video where she mentions Silence of the Lambs as an example of cultural transphobia and blah, 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 blah. It certainly is. I mean, there's no fucking questioning it. The whole idea of a trans person being a violent serial killer is ascientific. Trans people tend to be, on the whole, far more passive than the general population is when shit like that comes to play. So, violence and being trans don't tend to be linked at all. Hannibal himself says he's not really trans, right? he says he's not trans, he's not really trans, and his pathology is 1,000 times more terrifying and savage, which means that the nature of a trans individual is terrifying and savage. Billy is just a super trans person. He's just super trans. Ace Ventura, pet detective, is transphobic. Yeah, I thought about that scene. Dude, what movie was it that we were watching the other day that it just like fucking, I was like, I'd forgotten that it happened. Fuck, I'll have to ask Amelia about that. We were watching some old movie and there's some big, giant transphobic gag in it that I just had completely fucking forgotten was in there. Soap Dish. That was the movie we were watching. We watched Soap Dish. And there's a character in that movie that turns out to be, like, in their eyes, a man. And there's this big, like, fucking freak out, everybody's disgusted kind of moment in it. And I'd completely fucking forgotten that existed. And when I watched that movie, it wasn't even a thought. Same thing with that Ace Ventura pet detective shit. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Einhorn is a man, and he spends like fucking 20 minutes trying to plunge his face because he kissed a trans person. With the crying game theme playing behind it. Woof. And then Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, is like incredibly racist. Ace Ventura 1 is like one of the more transphobic films ever made, and then Ace Ventura 2 is just like, let's set aside this transphobia thing and let's do this tribal African bone through the nose racism thing. Yeah, he eats like 20 pieces of gum and literally takes a toilet plunger to make himself throw up. Like, he lays in the shower and plunges his face to, like, puke. So he can just, like, I guess, I don't know, get all the trans out of him. I don't know what it's just fucking horrible. It's just horrible. Just like, whoa. Not that old of a film either. Like, I was a young person when that movie came out, and it was totally fucking normalized in the culture. Like, nobody spoke up against it. Nobody spoke out against it. Nobody looked at it as fucking, like, you know what I mean? Problematic or insensitive or shitty at all. Don't you think these sensitivities are what is holding back more comedy movies from being released? I mean, those movies have aged incredibly fucking poorly because the jokes that were being made were at the expense of an incredibly marginalized group of people in America. People that are, just killed for being trans. And here we are, we've got a fucking major blockbuster comedy movie. I think Ace Ventura was one of the biggest movies released the year it came out, centered around a plot line where a secret trans person fucking does all the bad shit. And, it all culminates in one big, just like incredibly insane trans joke at the expense of trans people. And if you watch it now, I guarantee you it's not funny. It's just not. Like, I haven't seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in a long time, partially because of those scenes and that fucking implication that hangs over it. It's not funny. It's sad. So, comedians have to be able to walk that line. Hello, baby. What are you sorry about? I'm the one that should be sorry. I'm an idiot. I missed my meds. At least I got them today.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I should have moved it over for you so you could join me. Back then, a cheap joke could be way easier, yeah. Like, it's incumbent upon a comedian to be funny and not mean. If a comedian is, seen as mean-spirited, then they're probably not going to do well. Now, you can say mean-spirited things as a comic and get away with it, but that's where the fucking art form comes in. We were talking about anti-trans jokes in films.
Oh, yeah.
That and I was trying to remember, and I finally came up with it, the one that you and I watched, that I just fucking completely forgotten had a trans plot line in it.
The
Soap Dish, yeah. And we were talking about Ace Ventura. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
No, but I think you guys have talked about
Yeah.
it.
It's literally like the whole plot line is that the main villain is a trans woman who sleeps with Ace Ventura, and then he finds out and he says she's a man, and has this whole like montage of him puking and burning his clothes and laying naked in the shower and crying because he slept with a trans person. And then the reveal at the end is horrible too. Like, the whole plot line culminates with him basically like stripping her and showing everybody that she's got a penis or whatever the fuck. It's just like, and that shit was just so normal when it came out. Everybody thought it was the ha-has. And I think about it now, and I remember how mean-spirited that fucking Soap Dish turn felt, and how unnecessary it was to the fucking plot line. You know what I mean? Like, that movie is actually really funny until this big reveal, like 20 minutes before the end. And then it just becomes...
She was a perfectly good villain without having to be trans.
Exactly. She was like a strong female villain that used her sexuality in order to fucking climb the ladder or whatever of the show, and was using that to try and control the showrunner and stuff. And that was great. It was all funny. The movie's great. And then all of a sudden, it just like a Mack truck, it just hits this wall. Like, this trans joke comes out. And it's just so mean-spirited, watching all of these fucking actors react in terror and horror and disgust. It's just like, and then the plot line just remains for the rest of the film, and it's just like, wow.
And the weird thing is, like, all right, now that she's outed, now she has to go back and untransition.
Right.
Because she was outed.
Exactly. She gets outed, and the end of Soap Dish is she has to become a man again and go out on the road as a man actor.
Yeah. Like, it was this cover-up the whole time.
Right.
She went through all of that.
She went through her whole transition to become a woman so that she could get on a soap opera.
Yeah.
And then when it didn't work out and they found out her ploy, she had her boobs removed and went back to being a man. Like, what a fucking... It just ruined the film.
Yeah.
It took everything about the film and just made it mean-spirited and shitty. It was just like, wow. I didn't even remember that about the movie. That's how fucking under the radar that type of plot line was when I was a kid. There's a scene in Naked Gun 3 where Anna Nicole Smith's character ends up being trans and he pukes. Yep, we watched that too.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that one's one throwaway joke.
It wasn't like a a hinge
Right.
on the plot.
It wasn't like the plot line. You know what I mean? The plot didn't culminate in the big reveal that this character is not really a woman. Ha ha ha. She's a man. Everybody throws up. Everybody looks horrified. It wasn't, but it is an example. You're absolutely right. Of how just easy it was and how throwaway it was to just marginalize and make fun of an entire group of people and demonize them really in the eyes of people. We're talking about how Silence of the Lambs has a horribly like transphobic kind of central plot line that makes, presumptions about trans people that a lot of people probably carried forward, that they're more prone to deviance in other ways, like being fucking sexual deviants or being serial killers, which is actually the opposite of the truth.
And that's something that J.K. Rowling, that's what she got in trouble for, this book where the killer is a man who dresses like a woman.
Right. Use it the killer's like a trans person that uses their femininity to get people to fucking let their guard down and then kill them. It's the same shit. That was mentioned in the fucking, we were talking about, I guess, ContraPoint's long video. I watched it in chunks a couple weeks ago. And she brings up a lot of the point. She doesn't mention Soap Dish, I don't think. But she mentions, Silence of the Lambs and the Rowling book and all that shit. It's a sentiment that's still alive and well in a lot of people. And, what really fucking changed my heart about this shit and made it obvious to me and it sucks because most people who are transphobic and don't realize it won't have the luxury of having a trans friend. But I had a person who I knew my entire life come out as trans to me, and I saw how it fucking ripped her entire life apart, and I saw how unhappy she was not being able to be who she was. And it was horrible. And that's the truth of being trans in this country. Not that they're like Black Widow spiders looking to fuck people on the sly and not tell them that they're actually trans, or villains or serial killers. Trans people are just marginalized people who don't feel like they fit in the body that they were born in and are made fun of incessantly and are demonized incessantly. It's horrible. I came out and lost a lot of friends. My parents don't accept it 5 years later. The same was true for my friend who came out. Her parents basically disowned her. She was left with nothing. She was left with nobody to help take care of her after she transitioned. So she had to turn to now she's very lucky. She moved to one of the most pro-trans areas in the world, the Bay Area in California, and ended up, having her transition surgery, had an organization that helped take care of her, because when you get that surgery, you have to have somebody help you. You can't move. It's so fucking painful. You have to have somebody to help take care of you and bandage you and fucking convalesce. And so this organization helped her with that, and she ended up working for that organization. And so last I heard from her, she works for that organization, which helps young trans people who are transitioning, who have nobody, who find their way to San Francisco because they hear that it's a friendly place for trans people to be. I'm unfortunately too broke to ever afford surgery. I'm telling you, people that are in your position, go to fucking San Francisco for that very reason. My trans friend had no money and was able to transition in San Francisco because San Francisco has fucking insanely progressive laws that allow for those surgeries to be underwritten. You may not be able to get it right away, but I'm telling you, if it is really important in your life to transition, one of the things that you can do is move to San Francisco, move to the Bay Area, and reach out to some of the trans nonprofits there. I'm dead ass serious. It's the only way that my friend was able to medically transition. She never would have been able to afford that surgery on her own ever. So, just, I know it's drop everything and move to a place like that is not in the cards for a lot of people. So I understand that, but I'm just letting you know that, you're willing to make some fucking sacrifices, you can do it. There was actually an 80s movie that was pretty weird, but also progressive, where the main character is a dude that becomes a woman and bears children with his best friend. I don't remember that. I remember that. Maybe someday. It doesn't matter, Abby. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just saying don't look at what I said as like you should rush to do this or whatever. You are who you are. Right. You are who you are without the surgery. So I wasn't trying to imply that. Just, letting you know. Paul, just move. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of trans people do. A lot of trans people leave their entire family behind and move to San Francisco with no plan other than to try and find other people like them and to get transitioned and to live in an environment that is accepting of them. I'm not saying, like, that's what everybody should do, but that's just the truth. You need money first, yeah. I mean, I understand.
You're just saying that moving expenses can be less than the actual surgery.
Yes. Or no. I mean, it's just like, my friend lived in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco for a long time, which is an area that is for people on the down and out, which means that it's an area that, like, there's a lot of prostitution. A lot of people are turned out in that area. And she lived on the dole there and barely made it until she found the way to transition. Lived very hand to mouth and had a very hard go of it. I feel like trans are the last group that was socially acceptable to be ridiculed, so racists and bigots are sad that their last bastion of hate is now being looked down upon. I mean, it's kind of true in some cases. They don't see it that way. They justify it as... This is how I've seen it justified. Degeneracy is being normalized. We're taking something that shouldn't be seen as normal and we're normalizing it, and joking about it is the way that we make sure that it doesn't become normalized, as if children are just going to be convinced into being trans. As if that's the way it happens. That's the way, and that's just a fundamental misunderstanding of the trans experience. And for a lot of the people that hold those stupid positions, it would take knowing somebody. And even then, they might be one of the people that just says, fuck you, get out of my life. So it's contact theory all over again. Because a lot of the people that hold those really just mean-spirited, disgusting kind of anti-trans viewpoints, I've never known a real trans person. Never talked to a trans person in their life about what the experience is and what it's like, and don't care to. Do you think anyone under the age of 18 should have the right to transition? It's a sticky subject, and I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know what the correct answer is. I can't give you a, you know what I mean? It's not for me to make that fucking decision. I don't know. I think in certain situations, the answer is maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. Because on one hand, I can see the idea of doing something that fundamentally changes your entire life before you even hit puberty. On the other end, I can see forcing a child that's trans to live in a body that they don't agree with until an arbitrary age limit. You know what I mean? So it's just a very sticky fucking subject. It's not easy. Yeah, he did, but it's not his fucking area of expertise to be giving out medical advice in here. Who? What? Yeah. It should be done, obviously, with the consultation of medical professionals and stuff. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what the answer is, so I'm happy to say that. I can feel like many people see trans as a trend because they didn't hear about it 30 years ago. And because look at the environment fucking 20 years ago. Major blockbuster movies where trans people are serial killers and criminals that transition just to fuck people or transition for spurious reasons so that they can become soap opera stars or whatever the fuck. And how disgusting it is for somebody to be attracted to somebody and then find out that they're trans. It's like less than 20 fucking years ago that shit was the norm. What movies were those? Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Soap Dish. We've been talking about them today, but if you just joined us, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Soap Dish, fucking Silence of the Lambs. The list goes on. What about Mrs. Doubtfire? I don't think Mrs. Doubtfire really counts. That was not a trans film. That was I'm going to put on an absurd cross-dress outfit so that I can be closer to my children film. I don't think that really had the same feel to it. The Crying Game, sure. That animated film Robots was the most definitely a pro-trans, anti-consumer film. I don't remember Robots. Hello, Pranab. Comedians are not really walking on thin ice when parodying a marginalized group. What? Huh? Paul, do you think it's a trans person's responsibility to let their partner know they're trans? I don't know. I don't know what the best answer to that is. On one hand, I say no. I don't think it's anybody's responsibility to talk about anything in their medical history with somebody that they just met, and certainly not as a precursor to fuck a person. If a person wants to fuck you and they fuck you, it's not, you know what I mean? I really don't see that as incumbent for you to go through your entire fucking medical history with a person. Lying by omission is still lying. Like, what does that even mean, though? Lying by omission. So it's incumbent upon a person that goes through a medical procedure to explain that medical procedure to every fucking person they might sleep with forever until the end of time? Why? Why?
I mean, like, especially post-transition, like if the person's initiating sex post-transition, they can't tell the difference. The fuck does it matter?
That's the whole fucking point. Is like, why does a person have to fucking go through their medical history with you to fuck you? Like, if you're a person that's like, you know what I hate? Trans people. I'm always gonna hate trans people. And a trans person, like, fucks you and gets in a relationship with you and then reveals at some point that, hey, I transitioned at some point, and you get all pissed off and leave. Like, that's the most absurd fucking hypothetical I've ever heard.
No, I mean, obviously, if, like, your genitalia doesn't match your outward appearance, you might want to say something, just because incompatibility might be there. But
Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, if you're a non-transitioned trans person, you might want to talk about what kind of equipment you have. But I don't know. Like, to me, it feels like because a guy might react violently. Like, why is that okay? Why? So you having a penis is not okay. It's something that you have to sit down and explain to somebody. But when you reveal that penis, somebody's okay to go like, fuck you, motherfucker, bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even feel right to me. I usually tell guys at some point it's not their business unless we're intimate. Well, there's there's experience from a trans person in the chat. That's way better than my fucking opinion on it. You know what I mean? Abby typically will fucking go through it with a guy before they become intimate. There you go. Question answered. I'd say if you start to like each other and had multiple dates and you haven't told them yet, it should probably be talked about, not just discovered, just respectful to each other. Well, it sounds like that probably is the case. It's the most compassionate way of doing things, and so I have to imagine that that's the way it goes down in most of these situations that we're talking about. Where a trans person starts dating another person, and eventually they have a talk about it. So everybody's all up in a kerfluffle, and I think that is honestly, like, Jason and a couple other people in the fucking chat are displaying what I think is like lingering transphobia. It's like this idea that trans people are out to gaffle you up or something. And then be like, ha ha ha, I used to be a man. Like, that's the antithesis of what trans people want to project into the world. So what are you fucking talking about? You know what I mean? And it is. It's fucking lingering transphobia. I'm sorry. You were raised in it as much as I was, Jason. Trans people are not out there looking to gaffle people up into fucking them that don't want to fuck them. And why you have that assumption, you know, feeds a lot of fucking transphobia.
I mean, like, it's on you if you want to get to know someone or not first before fucking them.
Right. Of course. And that sounds like exactly what happens, Jacob. That's different from like acting like a bunch of trans people are out there not disclosing it to people. Now, I don't know what the trans experience is, but there are a couple of trans people chilling out in here. And it seems to be unanimous amongst the trans people that are chilling out in here that they talk to their partners about it before they become intimate. So what the fuck are you even pissed about, Jason? The fact that you're all fucking gorilla about this is lingering fucking latent transphobia. Because you're gorilla about something that is not even fucking happening. Like I said, trans people are not out there trying to trap you. I mean, yeah, if you hide your trans status for beyond, like the intimacy level or some shit, then maybe that is wrong. I don't know. I really don't see it as a moral wrong. Especially if there's fucking no difference. Like if you've transitioned medically, it's one thing. Like I really don't think it's incumbent upon a trans woman that has transitioned medically to prepare their partner for anything. Prepare them for what? A vagina? That's what they're there for. They're a woman. Now, if you're a non-transition trans person, which we're talking to a couple in the fucking chat, or at least one, it sounds like they talk about their equipment before they become fucking intimate. So what is your problem?
It's like if you're keep your dick in your pants until you meet whatever standards you want people to meet and talk to them as long as you need to talk to them.
Right.
You're just gonna fling your dick out without learning about someone, then that's a risk you take.
Right. That's 100% true. It's not incumbent upon people to know each other fucking super well to fuck. People do it all the time. I know Jason does it. I'm not saying he's like all over the place, but I know Jason has fucked people that he's not all that fucking familiar with. It happens.
And in that case, an asshole is an asshole.
Right. Like, what do you care? There are whole demographics of men and women who explicitly want to engage in relationships with trans people. So I think this supposed need to trick people is overblown. Absolutely. Genital preference and caring about wanting children is not itself transphobic. That is a compatibility issue. Yes, and I agree. If you are dating somebody and you are a trans woman and that person tells you it is one of my greatest fucking desires in life to have my own children, then it is incumbent upon you probably to let them know at the very least that you are incapable. But that's incumbent upon an infertile woman. You don't hide that from somebody. You don't get into a long-term situation with somebody who wants children of their own and let them keep thinking that one day they're going to have them with you if you can't have them. But that's a fucking situation that comes up situationally with trans people. And I have a feeling...
People too.
Yeah, right.
Like if I came to you and I was like, oh, I really want kids someday, then
right.
I wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Right. If you and I were having that, preliminary feeling each other out for a relationship talk, and one of the things that came out of your mouth was, man, I have a deep desire to have my own children, you and I never would have gone anywhere together. It would have been like, well, that came up as a natural course of our relationship. And so when it comes up with trans people, it comes up. What is the problem? I'm a person that has to have that conversation with any partner that I'm with. I can't have kids. I'm infertile. I've got the equipment, but it no work. Where did Jason go? I don't know. He stirs up shit and fucking poofs in and out. You know? The shoe was on the other foot with Amelia. How fucked up would it have been for me if she goes like, I want a bunch of kids? For me to go like, oh yeah, me too. And just not tell her that I'm firing blanks. And let her think that there's a problem with her. And let us go through all this fucking shit. And let it become a big deal. And have us be way more emotionally invested based on a lie. Be ridiculous. I'm up front. And this idea that trans people aren't is just based in, I think, fucking transphobia. It's based in this idea that trans people are out there to get you. What I really want to fuck is a person who's disgusted by the idea of fucking me. It's like, what? What I really want to do is find somebody who I don't have compatibility with and then just lie to them and loop them into a relationship that can never be what they want. It's like, what do you think trans people are? Demons? Like fucking, I don't, Snidely Whiplash without the mustache? Like, what are we doing here? You say that you're infertile. Does that mean you have a low sperm count? I have a low sperm count coupled with malformed sperm. So the vast majority of my sperm are not made correctly. I was actually shown a picture of one of my sperm. The tail, so if you've seen a sperm, they have that little tail on the back. And they've got like the little oblong, oval, egg-shaped head, and then the little whip tail that helps them to flagellate. It's a flagellum, right? Yeah. My flagellum, if you look at the egg, here, let me put down the cigarette. This is the egg of the sperm. This is the flagellum, right? My flagellum is offset. And so my sperms swim very shittily. They don't go anywhere.
They swim in circles.
Some of them swim in circles. Some of them just don't. They can't, they try, but they don't go. Do they know why? So I was told that a number of things, that it could just be genetic, that sometimes there's, a propensity for male infertility that's genetic. It could have been damage done to my testicles at a young age. I was kicked in the balls a lot when I was a kid. I remember falling down and hitting myself in the balls a few times. There's one in particular that I think might have done it, where I was on a playground. You know how they have those jungle gym dome things? The kids, you can go inside of it and you can monkey bar across it and you can climb on top of it. I was on top of one of those and the bell rang and I was going to try and jump off and just land on the ground and my foot slipped and just. So I went to 2 separate fertility specialists with my results. I did 2 sperm tests. And I was told by both fertility specialists that the nature of my infertility was indeterminate and that it was highly, highly, highly unlikely that I would ever naturally conceive a child. My sperm count is pretty catastrophically low, and the ones that I do make are mostly unhealthy sperm. Now, I do make healthy sperm, so on the table for me is in vitro or those other.
Just go through all your sperm. It's like, all
right.
Here's one.
Yeah, I mean, they would literally go through my sperm and find one of the anomalous ones that's made okay, and they would take as many of those as they could and take my partner's eggs and blah, 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 blah. But I don't want that. I don't care to.
It's a long journey for a sperm.
Yeah, it is. They got to have the flagellum on the right part of their little spermy body, or they're not going nowheres. If you were I don't even really think about conceiving because I just don't want to. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want children. I'm not going to change my mind on that. I'm too old to have a child now. It would be like kind of, especially as I get a couple more years old, like it would be completely irresponsible for me to have a child. You know, when they're in fucking high school, I'd be in my 60s and shit. It's no bueno.
That's what my mom did.
I mean, hey, it's just not, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not judging her decision, but it's not something I want to do. I don't want to be 60 and have kids. I just don't. Was it difficult to override the biological clock? Yeah. You know, there was a point in time in my life where that was what I thought was my future, because that's what everybody's future was. That's what everybody did. All my friends went, got married, got kids, you know. And I won't lie to you and tell you like I didn't want it at some point in my life. But finding out that I was infertile and then really assessing the relationship that I was in at that time, it changed my whole fucking perspective on things. And the clock that I started seeing ticking was the clock for me to ever do anything that I wanted to do with my life. So my biological clock was kind of overridden by my desire to actually go and try something crazy in my life and do something fucking inadvisable and see if it worked out. And it did. Hallelujah.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to fucking start doing what you're doing now with a kid.
If I had a kid, I wouldn't be sitting here. Wouldn't be doing this. I'd be working at the fucking school district still, if I was lucky, because all the schools are shut down, and I have a feeling that the people that do,
But you would have done something, or you would have gone back to Starbucks
Yeah.
or something.
gone back to school,
stability
finished a little
based.
degree, done something, you know what I mean? And I had kids. Kids become your life. You have a child, your life ends, and their life begins. And your life becomes about facilitating their life first and foremost. Everything you do it for them. And there's a selfish part of me at this age and at this point in my life, especially after the experiences I've had in the last 5 years of my life. I just know for a fucking fact I don't want children. I'm too selfish. I want time of my own. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to see things. I want to have a life that isn't centered around taking care of another life. I want to experience a life with a partner and my animals. That's it. That's what I'm going to do.
How would you stream if like there was a crying baby in the background?
There'd be no way. It just never would have happened. Like the whole DP thing would never have happened if I had had a child. I'd have showed up on the show a couple of times, maybe been a Friday guy, but I never would have moved to be there. That was the big career move for me. When I was asked to move to fucking Bellevue to be on screen all the time, that was the leap of faith. And I took it. I could not have done that if I'd have had children in my previous marriage. You can't just grab a kid and move them halfway across the country when your partner has a business. It just doesn't work that way. I would have been living in the same area I grew up in, raising a child. That would have been most of what I was doing. Paul went from hopeful, clean-cut Starbucks worker to grumpy hermit hippie streamer. Yep. Thank goodness, too. The real me got to come out.
You were a hippie inside all along.
I found that out one day when my stepdad corrected me. I was back visiting. I'd already moved away, and I was back visiting. I was talking to my stepdad, and he's a hippie, like an old school hippie. And I told him, like, I need some hippie advice or something. And he looked at me and he was like, son, you're a hippie. And I was like, what? And he was like, look at you. You're a fucking hippie. You don't need my advice on hippie shit. You're more hippie than I am now. It's like, oh, shit. You're right. I'm a fucking hippie. In what way is Paul a hippie? Number one, hippie is not a pejorative. Dude, by 3 or 4 today, it's supposed to be a windstorm here.
Alright, so let's make sure that we get all the trash out. Take this inside. Put this inside. Do we need this?
No.
It's not empty, but
Take it in.
Bring it in.
Yeah. That's fine. You can leave that out here.
Okay. Yeah, it's got enough weight to it.
It's not gonna blow nowheres. I'll put a glove over it to make sure. He's the kind of hippie that likes science. What do you think the modern day equivalent of a hippie is? I don't know. Me. I don't really think the hippie movement ever went away. I think that you have to understand, hippie as a pejorative was a way of undermining the movement that changed culture here in this country. It was a direct action movement based on nonviolent protest that changed the face of this country. So being a hippie is not a pejorative. It just means that you're somebody that doesn't flow with the status quo.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, babe. Just be careful. I don't want you to trip on that.
Let me pull it back.
Yeah, pull it back.
Using it.
Yep. Nope. I just don't want you to fall. I don't care about the cord or the thing. I care about you.
Come on, dude. You wanna come sit on my lap? Oh.
Consider myself a hippie ever since Paul called me one on stream. Well, yeah, you're a hippie. I mean, you busk. You've got a fucking very unique and utilitarian sense of style. And you hate the fucking government. You're a hippie. You hate war. You hate the government.
A little bit environmental.
Yeah, you're an environmentalist. You're a fucking hippie. Like, what do you want?
Now, you're not sitting out here washing every bottle we use or whatever, but...
No. Neither were hippies. We're all hippies here. Is there anyone here who actually likes the government? Being a hippie happens almost by christening. Not really. I think people just have forgotten that the hippie thing applies to them. You know what I mean? Maybe you just have to be reminded that you're a hippie. It had to happen to me. I had to have somebody that I considered a hippie tell me I was a hippie. Something smells like jazz cigarettes, yeah. Come on over to Duke's place. Come on, fellas, to Duke's place. Get your kicks at Duke's place. Let's go, Duke.
We were both in this state of horror when we were driving back and saw the cat almost go into our garage.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we drove back last night and a stray cat was in our driveway and I started to pull in and I opened the garage door before I saw her and I thought she was gonna bolt into our garage. I was like, oh man, no. No. But she took a left at Albuquerque.
That's only because she's been living fine without our help for so long. You don't want to fuck that up in case we don't stay here.
Yep. True that. Classic Bugs Bunny reference, yes. The emos and goths are still around. You can witness them at music festivals from time to time. Hipsters want to be hippies, yes. A hipster is a different thing from a hippie. Like a hipster is, like, they share none of the political activism that a hippie shares.
They're too clean cut.
Right. They all they share is this penchant for finding like secondhand clothes and wearing them for fashion. Which hippies, I don't really think thought much about fashion. They thought more about comfort and utility.
I mean, I like your sense of taste, but it's not like you're sitting there laying out your clothes the day before. And
Right. I just have a fucking thing that I do. I wear jackets because they're warm. I wear shirts because they cover my fucking body up, and I wear pants because they cover the lower half of my body, and shoes because they cover my feet. It's my primary concern in life when it comes to clothes. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like certain shirts or whatever, or hoodies or whatever, but I'm not a very fashion conscious person. Cock a doodle doo.
insert DFF merch promo.
Yeah.
I know the Doomer thing isn't active right now.
What Doomer thing?
The Doomer shirt's not active right now.
Oh, they're not?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about that for fun.
Yeah, I'll bring it up at the meeting on Monday. Got to run another Doomer campaign. Still have a bum equipment hoodie from 20 plus years ago, yeah. I've got a Nike Air pullover sweater that's at least 20 years old at this point. It's like falling apart, but it's still so comfy and warm. On the topic, have you ever read any Jack Kerouac, Paul? Very little. Becoming a DFF patron got me a better job and another car. Look at that. Endorsement.
What? Someone having a party?
I can't tell if it's a party or a fight. My proudest moment was when my father and I argued about drug legalization. That conversation ended with saying, "You're just a dirty hippie, you know that," and hanging up the phone. Yeah. You're just a dirty hippie.
Now, that's one thing you're not, is dirty.
No. Pretty cleanly, at least personal hygiene wise. Blah.
Now it's a fight.
Dino, are you gonna go join? Dinor's over there. Tell me what you see, D.
Yeah, that's a good choice, Steve.
Yeah. Johnny Bumpins? I don't know.
I don't think
Yeah, but maybe he's fighting over there though. That was an argument. This is why I don't date. Yeah, sounded like a party for a minute, but that is no party. Mr. Naughty Priest, hello, sir. Thank you very much as always. That one's for you. Round one, fight. Dun, 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 dun. Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, Dave. Naughty Priest is a good guy. That's pretty good at MK9 and 10. Need to get back into it. Yeah, jump back in. I don't think that I have the fucking... See, I think that was Johnny Bumpins that just went by in a truck. He wasn't bumping. Damn, I don't know what's going on, man. The neighborhood is crazy today. Scientology episode or riot. Okay. It's in the pipelines. It's in the pipelines.
You want to make it perfect.
I want to make it good. I want to be investigated by Scientology because it's so good. MK11 is alright. It's just pricey for what it is. Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll release the Ultimate Edition or whatever of it. Yeah, you gotta buy a lot of DLCs and stuff for it to get all the characters, which kind of sucks, man. That used to be something that, like, when you bought a fighting game, you got all the characters. Now, there are some characters maybe you had to unlock them, but you got all the characters when you got a fighting game. That's the way it should be, in my mind. Like, I don't got, like, in the modern age, if you need to profit on microtransactions, do costumes. You know, like, just cosmetic items and shit for the characters so they look different, but just make it shit that you don't have to buy unless you want to. Like, Dota 2 has the best monetization model, in my opinion. Because you get, you know, it's free to play. You get every hero for free. But it's still happening. You get all the, but that you can buy costumes for the characters. So if you really like a certain character, you can bling them out and make them look all crazy. You can buy different looks for them and different this, different that.
Leave those people alone.
Dude, he wants a peek. He's a drama llama. I thought you lived away from your neighbors. I mean, yeah, we do.
It's just flat.
But it's very flat. So there are neighbors.
I lived on a river once. Like, you could literally hear things from the next city over
Yep.
the river.
Yeah. We live in a very flat area, so the sound travels pretty far. Yes, I have seen The Master. And yes, it is not, it's not very loosely based on Scientology. It's pretty much based on Scientology. They just changed the principal names. Like, instead of Scientology, it's The Cause. Instead of L. Ron Hubbard, his name is... I can't remember what his fucking name is in the movie, but whatever. They changed the name, but It's not. It's not even loosely based on Scientology. It's 110% based on Scientology.
I mean, maybe the main character is less molded into a specific person, but
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, the main character of Freddie Quell is just meant to be the average person that was chewed up and spit out by Scientology.
it's Lancaster Dog.
Lancaster Dodd, yeah, okay. That was his name, you're right. Yeah, he was the
Minor, quiet. Minor, quiet.
Go to your friend out. Go to your friend out. Nah, go to your friend out.
Paul, what when fights happen near you, do you get frightened or just amused? I'm pretty amused right now.
Yeah, you wanna act stupid, man. When you get money and everything, you act stupid. Go to your friend out right here. Shit, come on. Don't go to my truck. You're not getting in there. Yeah, that boy. You're not getting in.
Yeah, dude. So guy has a little kid with him, and that's the best part about this, is that little mind is absorbing. This is how human beings fucking deal with one another.
It's my birthday boy, you wanna act stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah. In my neighborhood, some Karen would have called the death squads by now. Dude, there's part of me that wants to invite dude over here and let him smoke a bowl, because I think that would diffuse this whole situation. Just give him the pipe. It's like a fucking $10 pipe. You can have it, or just boil it before I use it the next time. You know, pack him a bowl. If he wasn't with a kid, I'd flip a coin, and if it went heads, I'd go over there with a bowl and be like, dude, come here. Yeah, I don't know if that's Johnny Bumpins or not. Johnny Bumpins drives on a blacked out truck with illegal tint. So I've never seen who's in the bumpin' mobile. But he did say, stay away from my truck. And Johnny Bumpins most definitely do have a truck, so.
So do like 20 other people.
Yeah, that's true. And pretty much everybody that lives out here.
It's diffused, y'all. You walk
Yeah.
away.
Man, yeah, if he didn't have a little kid, I would have walked down there and offered him a hit, dude. I think that would have, like, plucked the fuse right out of that stick of dynamite. Poor guy, man. Drama at his birthday party, dude. Drama at his birthday party. I didn't hear any of the argument, and I don't know what spawned it, but I'm telling you right now, I feel bad for that dude. He had to leave his own birthday party because he got some drama with his main piece. I've been there. I will tell you, volatility in a relationship is something that I will never miss. I have been in nothing but, until Amelia, those types of volatile relationships where instead of talking about things, shit escalates into shouting matches. It's just like, dude, I hope she doesn't fuck up his truck. She key it up, dude, or get like something and hit it. That's the life of Johnny Bumpins, yeah. I mean, I guess so. Seems to be a lot of folks' lives, honestly. You know, we lived in an apartment complex, and it wasn't all the time, but we would hear some crazy fights from time to time. People throwing shit and get the fuck out and this and that, man. That type of shit. I will tell you, man. It takes everything out of you. It's like, it feels so rotten to be in a position like that where you're just fighting all the time. Or maybe not even all the time, but fighting just like regularly, you know? Oh, man. Did Whitey call the fucking cops for no reason?
I hope not.
That's what I think happened. I think Whitey called the
I mean,
cops.
he walked away. He's all the way the fuck over there now.
Yeah, I mean, nothing fucking happened. It's probably, dude, I think I know who done did it.
Oh.
If somebody
It
done
was
called...
It was so much closer.
Oh, yeah, I was right in front of his house. So, yeah. Whitey called the cops.
And he ain't even white, though, because he's white enough.
The Army National Guard, you can. This is such a fucking stupid maneuver to do in an area like this, too.
He's all the way the fuck over there now.
The fucking situation is diffused. He has a little boy with him. But here's what worries me. What did he look like? He was a black man, no shirt, sagging pants, red do-rag on his head. And now the cops are coming looking for him. See, I would never fucking call the cops unless that dude was brandishing a weapon out in the street.
Or, like, help.
Help, right. So...
Well, if they knock on our door, do you let us know? And we'll give them the straight skinny.
I mean, if they knock on our door and nobody answers, they might come around this side of it, and I'll just tell them, like, nothing happened. Sounded like a domestic argument, and he walked away from it with his child, and he went up that way.
I don't even tell them where they went.
Yeah, he walked away with his child, but they're gonna ask which way. I'll tell him which way he goes, but I'm just gonna let him know there's nothing fucking going on.
Alright, we can credibly claim we didn't see.
I did.
Yeah.
I can't.
But we don't know where he is now.
No, I have no
He's
fucking
out of our
clue.
sight line now.
I got no clue where he went. We're getting our story straight. Calling the cops is only okay if violence happens. What happened? I was clocking in and couldn't listen. We just there was like a verbal altercation in the neighborhood, and then I heard sirens. Will cops ask the chat? Yeah, they're gonna want to interview each one of you about this incident.
Everyone's got to show ID.
I hope weed's legal where you're at. If the cops start walking up, I'll take a hit before they get in here. I'll wave them in as I'm taking a hit. Come on in, officers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you left Louisiana for an illegal state.
Yeah. I drove halfway across the continent to fucking land in another illegal state, you dipshit.
I saw him, officer. He was about 7 years old, wearing a suit, kept calling me Jack and fat.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I saw him. He's an old white man with a old black lady. She was smiling, but it was like a really, really evil, creepy smile. And he kept mumbling stories. I couldn't understand most of it. Hairy
Corn
legs, corn pop. He went up that way. Old white dude. Yeah, I remember his leg hair was extremely silky. I can give you that. He had very blonde leg hair, and in the sun, it curled up, you know? See, there it is. There went the sheriff right there. About to have an ACAB incident in this fucking house. I told you Whitey called the cops over nothing. Over nothing.
And he probably told him where he went.
So now there's a shirtless man with a little boy, and there's a fucking armed goon coming to find out why he had an argument with his girlfriend. Fucking ridiculous. Because he's black. Because he looks like a fucking thug. I hate this fucking country. I hate this country so fucking much. If I see more fucking cop cars going up that way, I'm literally gonna be sick with grief.
Go up there with cameras.
Here comes another one. I hear that fucking big V8. Nope. Going the other way. Okay.
Yeah, let's get some fucking ring cams on that situation.
It's ridiculous. These cops ain't got nothing better to do. Dude got in an argument at a party and walked away from it with his child. That's what happened. And there's cops roaming around my neighborhood now looking for a black guy. Fuck this. See, I moved out of Louisiana to get away from this, but the truth is you don't get away from this. This is everywhere. Dude had a little boy, like a little fucking 6-year-old boy with him. I mean, fucking come on, man. He did what was right. He walked away from a bad situation and he took his child away. We need a cop to come fucking supervise that shit. Fucking ass, podunk ass sheriff car.
But it happens in northern Montana too. I don't think there's a single goddamn
There's
state
nowhere
unless
you can go. If we were in northern Montana and a black man with no shirt on and a do-rag on his head was having a verbal altercation in the street, the same fucking shit would happen. If we were living in fucking LA, the same shit would happen.
Probably the only place that wouldn't is like fucking Puerto Rico or some shit.
I mean, dude, I just got the fucking creepy feeling of being in fucking Covington, Louisiana again, where this is the response, dude. If a black person is being loud in public, there's a cop that's gonna come by. Motherfuckers. Just sick.
You know what I saw on Twitter the other day? Like schematics of those robot dogs and how to disable them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People are already fighting back.
Yep. Like there's a battery pack that can just be ripped off the bottom of them.
If you can get close enough to it, if it doesn't do a backflip and kick you in the fucking face if you get too close to it, those things are dangerous. Those things can fuck you up. You have to imagine that if that exists, they're going to be programmed to defend themselves against that in some
They're gonna
way,
start armoring them or whatever the fuck.
or making them fucking kick out at somebody that tries to get too fucking close to them and shit.
They're gonna have sniper rifles.
They're gonna have fucking guns on them if they don't. I will say this, and I don't know this for to be true, but those Boston Dynamics search and rescue robo dogs, they already have versions of that have guns on them that have been used somewhere on the planet in some limited engagement in some probably Middle Eastern country. They've already been used.
Stupid fucking Black Mirror giving them ideas.
Yeah. no news is good news, but it's just so fucking stupid that was not a police matter. No violence was being perpetrated. It was somebody doing the right thing and de-escalating a verbal altercation and taking a fucking child away from it. That does not need police supervision. That's the right thing to do. It's ridiculous, man. Guns on hovering drones already exist. Yes, they do. We would know if they were used outside of a testing site, so likely only in U.S. research facilities for now. How would we know? Let's say that in a limited way, the United States military decides that they want to start testing the Boston Dynamics assault version. And so they go to some village that you've never heard of under cover of night in Afghanistan, and they use these dogs in order to kill a bunch of Taliban insurgents, and then report it as a SEAL Team 6 or whatever the fuck engaged a group of Taliban insurgents. Like, how do you know? See, that's the thing. It's like they control the media. So we don't know until they want us to know about things. We don't get to just know shit like that. So the idea that these things are being used in an open, civilian way is preparing us for what they've already been doing in other places, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying. It's they do some limited testing of it in Syria. They do some limiting testing of it in Libya. They do some limited testing of it in fucking... Maybe this is that weapon that Trump bragged to fucking Bob Woodward about in that latest Woodward book, where he was like, "We got a new weapon, and it's fucking crazy. I'm not at liberty to talk about it, but I just want to let you know, Russia, China, they don't even have any idea what we've got." Maybe this is it.
Or giant versions of it, where it's like the fucking Star Wars shit.
Well, I don't know about that. That'd be a little harder to fucking hide. But these fucking robo-dogs going in and cleaning up a fucking group of insurgents, killing them all, or subduing them all. Like, even if the insurgents take that story out and pass it around, like, how's it gonna get out of fucking Tikrit? You know what I mean? It won't.
They just gotta put fucking skin suits on them so they look like dogs from a distance.
I don't even fucking know, dude. They probably will. How long until we have power armor? Exoskeletons already exist. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like power armor in the traditional sense, but I think that there's a good chance that we have some sort of exoskeletal kind of like human enhancement thing that's being used militarily.
Night of the Living Dead 3 or whatever.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the trash man. Or the river man. Yeah. But that's absolutely true. You're going to see a lot more robotic application before you start seeing shit like power armor and stuff. Because a power armor, as we're talking about, it still has to be driven by a human being. What's better is a suit of power armor that drives itself. So that's what you're seeing with this Boston Dynamics shit rolling out and being used in New York. They're just trying to prep the United States population for the idea of these things trotting down your street, walking the beat instead of cops. And then slowly but surely you see them used militarily overseas in more and more audacious ways. And we're already prepped for it because we see these dogs around a lot. And it's just a rollout of technology that's already been tested, already exists, probably already been used in engagements.
I mean, AOC was like criticizing it from like a bad investment standpoint, like, oh, they should be investing in the community instead of these robots, but like she should be trying to fucking ban those things.
Well, nobody wants to sound like a fucking conspiracy nut, so nobody talks about the actual bad implications of militarizing these robots, but that's exactly what's happening. So AOC, I agree, should be talking about how fucking dystopian it is that we're now using robot dogs to subdue people and shit. And, you know, whatever. It is what it is. AOC is probably briefed on some level on some of the weapons that they have. Maybe she's not allowed to criticize them for that because she knows the military rollout of these fucking weapons has already happened. I mean, who the fuck knows? I have not seen the Black Mirror episode about these things, no. Yeah, dude, Ed209 from RoboCop.
I think it probably wouldn't be worth watching because then it would just make you more depressed and paranoid.
I'm not even really all that paranoid about it. I just like that. I honestly believe that if they're rolling it out in a public way and cops are using it in a big city, it's a big fucking like happy-go-lucky news story. These things have already been weaponized and used against people overseas already. 100%. Just I believe that to the very core of me. In the future, you don't need human cops to bust heads for you. They'll just send in the Boston Dynamics bots to break up the protest. I mean, yeah.
You could definitely put those fucking
Oh my God.
voice things on them.
Here it goes. Sheriff car number 2. This one with his fucking woo-woos on. He's got his I'm responding to a fucking disturbance lights on. Motherfucker, man. Get me out of here. Get me to a remote enough place where I don't have to see this shit fucking happening every goddamn day of my life. What a fucking nightmarish dystopian world we live in. Now 2 sheriff's cars have fucking responded down the street that the man walked down. One of them with their lights on. This is just fucking escalating now for no reason because there's black people in a neighborhood where people feel like there shouldn't be any black people. That's what this is about. I live out in the fucking kind of boonies. My house is kind of run down, but a lot of the houses out here are big and palatial, and there's a lot of white folk out here that don't like brown people around, and that's what this is about. That's why sheriff cars are driving up and down my fucking street right now. Because a darkie is somewhere where he shouldn't be. I fucking hate this shit. I want to go somewhere where I don't have to see this shit happening. What do you think, babe? What do you think about fucking, like, actually starting the process of fucking getting out of this country?
Yeah.
I'm dead
I see
serious,
your
dude.
point, yeah.
Seeing this shit just makes me fucking sick to my stomach.
See that one?
Paul, which reduces more harm? 4 more years of Trump or either up to 8 years of Biden, 4 years of Biden, and 8 years of Kamala or a GOP successor? I brought up that question a bunch of times and was ridiculed for it. I was ridiculed for saying that 4 more years of Trump and biding our time and actually maybe getting a progressive like Bernie on the ballot in a way that we can support would be a better fucking tactic for the left than electing another vampire corporatist, fucking center-right austerity monger, warmonger, piece of fucking goddamn little girl sniffing rapist shit. And people were like, fuck you, Paul, you made harm reduction, Trump literally this, Trump literally that. It's fucking just emotional art. And then I was the one that was accused of having the emotional argument. Just fucking, I'm just sick of it, dude. I'm sick of living in this fucking country. I want to live in a place where I don't see what I just saw happen. I left fucking Louisiana so that I wouldn't have to see fucking flatfoots hassling black people for no reason. That was one of the main reasons I got the fuck out of that place. And here I am in it again. One little unremarkable incident in my fucking neighborhood that actually played out in a completely and utterly non-violent way, and now there are fucking cops going all over the goddamn place. All hyped up and ready to shoot them. I just want to get the fuck out of this country. I really want to get the fuck out of here. Pigs sniffing for truffles, yeah. Calm down, Paul. They might call the cops on you for yelling. Yeah, but I'm the right color, so I won't be shot for no reason. Just maybe hassled. But I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm sitting on my back porch on a fucking Saturday, nice, breezy day. And I'm the right color. How long ago did I tell the story? It actually played out on stream.
Like that second cop car came like 5 minutes ago.
Right. The second cop car that we just saw just drove by. So this story is something that happened on stream today. A black man got in a verbal altercation and fucking diffused it by walking away with what I assume is his son or a little relative of his. He had a little boy with him. And somebody in this fucking shitheel racist neighborhood decided they had to call 911 about that. And now there are 2 sheriff's cars that drove down the street that the black man walked down to get away from the altercation. The altercation was nothing but verbal, and he walked away from it. That happens in any suburban neighborhood. I know. That's why I want to get the fuck out of here. Jason has slunk back in the chat now to poke it again. Now I'm just in a bad mood. Now I'm just in a shitty mood. My dad got the cops called on him once for playing music in a public park with his band. It's ridiculous at this point. Yep. What just happened is something that's probably happened to every hoity-toity fuck that lives in this goddamn fucking area. They got in a verbal altercation, and somebody had to call the cops because it was a black dude. That's exactly what went down here today. And that's that. Yeah, 911 operators should have really overemphasized the emergency part of their script. Yes.
I mean, that people ain't gonna fucking listen to that though.
Yeah, but 911 operators then need to have the purview to know when somebody's just calling it a bullshit fucking call.
And like have the authority to not send them out.
Right. Like somebody calls in and she goes, "What seems to be the problem?" "Oh, there's a black guy and he's yelling at somebody." "All right, are they fighting? Is there any physical altercation going on?" "No, he's walking away." "All right, we'll send the sheriff right out." Fuck this shithole. The cops called on me for crashing into a snowbank in a blizzard. The cops were unable to come to the call because their vehicles couldn't make it up the hill I crashed on. They had to walk up.
Alright, Jason, don't be starting odd arguments.
Yeah, seriously, Jason, you're about to get fucking de-wrenched, which means you're about to be band bait. Like, there's a fucking standing rule in this chat about not having fucking stupid conversations that have nothing to do with what the topic is at hand, and that's what you're doing in the chat. So, just stop it. Quit being a fucking idiot. Quit being an attention seeker, and keep your wrench. Trust me, you want that wrench. Because you're about to be 100% band bait if I take that wrench from you. And I have the power, Jason, with the flick of my wrist. So just stop it. Flick of the wrist. Can't imagine what it's like to have the police called on you for just walking by while being black. America sounds like an interesting place. Yes, it's very interesting.
Jason, it doesn't matter if it was a female mod or a male mod. It's just mods shouldn't be having fights.
Yep. If you're talking about something that I'm not talking about in the chat for more than fucking 2 posts, you're breaking the rules. And the next time I see you fucking do it, your wrench goes away, and then you're going to be at the mercy of the very people you're trying to troll. So be grateful for your wrench and shut the fuck up. Yep. Mods have to follow and enforce the rules. Jason isn't even a mod. I told him he's not allowed to use his mod powers for anything unless I directly ask him to do it. I just cast Shallow Grave on you, Jason. I'm Dazzle, and I cast Shallow Grave on you so other mods wouldn't repeatedly ban you. You can't reply to people who insult you. You can reply to somebody who insults you, but if it takes more than 2 fucking posts back and forth between the 2 of you, then take it to fucking DMs or shut up and get over it. Oh my God, there's a Jason simp in the chat. Shut up. I don't care. You guys can have a 2-post insult-a-thon, and then you take it to DMs. Them's the rules for everybody.
That's why you got a warning in that an immediate de-wrench, because it was going that way.
Yep. But it is your last fucking warning. You can despise capitalism and not trust good intentions in most leftists. Yep. Seems like totally sensible rules to me. Yep. They are. So, they will be abided by. No, they don't? Okay. Well, you're banned. Jason is a simp for capitalism. Cool. Let's talk about the refreshing experiences of water. No, let's not. If you had a kid, which I know you don't want, would you homeschool him, her? I consider it to be really irrelevant to ask me if I had a kid questions. I don't have a kid, and I won't have a kid. So what I would do with a kid is irrelevant to my life, and it's not something I've spent a lot of time thinking about. You understand? It's like asking like a fucking dude with no legs, like, if you had legs, what would you do with them? You know what I mean? It's like... If you had a dragon, how would you wax their scales? Like this. I'd hit them with a little bit of that. If you had 5 kids, would you force them into becoming a hit band? Yep.
Oh my goodness. The wind's going.
What is the most evil thing you've done? I don't believe in evil, so can't answer the question. I don't think evil as a concept can be demonstrated, studied, so I don't believe it exists. Jason, are you an anarchist or an anti-capitalist who is also a reactionary, i.e. a right-winger who dislikes capitalism? Clean Master, I'm going to time you out. Take it to the DMs with Jason. You got 300 seconds to take it to the DMs with Jason. There you go. I want to see anybody fucking... You too, Phoebes. No more Jason talk. We're not falling into the Jason vortex. I'm fucking dead serious. I'm in the process of moving on from the Jason shit. So I'll de-wrench him, and I'll de-wrench you, and I'll ban anybody that fucking engages with Jason from here on out. Period. We're not getting caught in the Jason fucking toilet bowl where we swirl around forever and ever while Jason trolls people. Yes. Can you have a wrench? No, you can't. Yeah, just no more Jason shit. I don't care to have it explained to me. I don't give a fuck what went on. I wasn't reading it. That's the point of me having to fucking tell you guys to shut the fuck up. Writhing in the deep, dank abyss of the Jason toilet, yes.
You guys are both mods. You can both link your
Yeah,
Discords or
yeah.
whatever.
Link yourself to your Discord fucking account and go over there and, fucking have a fight all day. I don't give a fuck what you do. But my chat is not a fucking place for you to have a back and forth about nothing that I'm talking about. Endlessly, all day.
Lord of Duck is here. Sanity is restored.
Lord of Duck loves participating in Order 66. He loves it. I haven't seen any more cops, no, but 2 sheriffs, that's enough. Bored of you, George. See ya. Paul's house is divided against itself. Yes, a house divided cannot stand, dude. So it's gonna fall down over and over again. Jedi deserved Order 66. Yep. It's true. They were lame and annoying. Not George. 1 cop is 1 too many. Yeah, well, there's 2 over there now, so yippee skippy. D. What? You stretchy boy?
Is it too windy?
Is it too windy for you? You want to go inside? Is it blowing too hard? Here, let me. Okay. All right. Is the wind too blowy? Driving you nuts? Dirty day. Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Bring it over. Give me that ball. Vader never killed the younglings. It was a false flag event carried by crisis actors. Is that true? Thanor soothes the fiery soul of the chat. It's my fiery soul that needed soothing. He soothed my soul. Fuck the chat soul. I don't give a fuck about no chat. Truth be told, I'd ban every last one of you and have nobody in here. Just ramble on my own.
Oh,
He brought back a pine cone. You like this wind? He wants it. Ask yourself this. All those younglings in the movies, were they actors? You've now started the Order 66. We're not going to talk about younglings in the fucking Star Wars movies. We're not going to talk about the Star Wars movies. We're a pestilence, Paul, a festering infection that you created. That is true. That is true. I realize this, but it's my job to police all of you. Nobody better call the cops on Dinor. I know. Guys, there's a dog that keeps running back and forth. It looks like he's stealing a ball. Whoop whoop. Ridiculous. Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Go get your ball. Bring it. It's like, no, I'm on break. It's like I'm on break.
Marshall wants to send you a Marshall hoodie.
What's my size? What's the biggest size you got, homie? Like, do you do a 4XL? I mean, that would eat me alive, but a 4XL hoodie would be dope. But I need at least a 3XL. Yep, 4X sounds good to me then. Dope. Oh, you got a super chat.
That's just this.
Uruguay relocation fund. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really want to go today, man. Oh, today has really made me want to go. I don't know, man.
We didn't hear a pop, so that's something.
Yet, we also didn't see the cop come back this way either.
I mean, there's probably a side street out of there.
I can probably loop up and around and get out, but yeah. Dude, we should all go check out Marshall's hoodies and shit. Go buy some merch from Marshall Manson.
Yeah. Yeah, Marshall, you're free to put the link.
Yeah, link your merch. Support your local fucking artist. If you want to escape gun crazy cops, move to the UK.
UK don't want us.
Yeah, the UK doesn't want to have anything to fucking do with me. I've said such vile and horrible things about the Queen that I'm barred from maybe even going to the UK.
Fuck their pretentious royal bullshit.
Yeah. Fuck them. I want that shit. There's gun crazy cops over there too. Dope. Yeah,
Alright, Jared, that was a pretty funny joke. The Queen is a goddamn iguana.
she is, yeah. True. Isn't there more stabbings in the UK, though? I mean, come on, dude. Let's just, come on. Who cares? I'm not going to the fucking UK. The UK don't want me, and I don't want it. If I go anywhere, it's South America. I'm going to fucking Uruguay. Or Argentina, maybe. Fuck this shit. Fuck this country. Fuck this area of the globe. I've spent my whole life on it. I'm done. I want to get out. I don't want to see any more fucking armed stormtroopers driving up and down the street because a black guy raised his voice in public. I want to leave.
You want me to get you your own pack, baby?
Sure, thank you. You, TJ, and Scotty should pool your money to buy a yacht with satellite internet and live in international waters. Dude, that would be dope, dude. Dude, we could be like a pirate podcast, beholden to no one's rules. You like a good BLT? Yes, I do. In fact, I'll be honest with you. If I had to pick my favorite sandwich, it's a BLT. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
Do you ever do IRL streams? Like, what makes this not an IRL stream? Well, what's different from what I'm doing now and doing an IRL stream? I guess I don't understand what makes one. Like going out and talking to people. Oh, no. Like I might have people over to my place and do a co-stream with them or something. But, yeah. I'm not interested in invading other people's fucking day for the memes on my stream and shit. That's a little creepy. Yeah, text to speech donations and stuff. Yeah, no, fuck that. No. Inward, 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 it's just y'all should pool your money for an aircraft carrier and start the cult of DFF. Okay, yeah. We can definitely, like, yeah, if me, TJ, and Scotty got together and pooled our money, we could afford an aircraft carrier. An aircraft carrier, bro. Live out in an abandoned oil rig. That would be totally dope, man. You know what else would be dope? An underwater base. I'm telling you, an underwater base. I just got to become friends with Elon Musk and convince him that I must have this. An underwater base with satellite provided internet. Yeah, it's getting real windy. Like I told you guys, and with this windstorm, we might hear a big crack over there as one of the limbs of these eucalyptus trees gives way. This is definitely the type of day when that sort of thing happens. I'd say the winds are going about 10 miles an hour right now, maybe 15. It's a pretty good gusty, windy day. Paul could carry on Jacques Cousteau's legacy. Yeah. I could be the new crocodile hunter. Would you ever stay in one of those underwater hotel rooms? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Jack Crusto. I love it. There's a cool game coming out called Evil Genius that lets you build your own evil base filled with deadly traps. What's your favorite sea creature? I don't know that I have a favorite. I really do love all the little creatures of this planet, dude. And I love the deep ocean. When I was a child, the first thing, like when, you know, people would ask you, like, what do you want to be? The first thing that I answered was astronaut when I was really little. But the second thing that I started telling people was I want to be a marine biologist because I got to take a field trip to the Monterey Bay Aquarium and I learned what a marine biologist does. So I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a little kid. I love the ocean. I love the deep ocean especially. I would love to be somebody that worked in that environment. I don't really have, like, I have a fear of it, but I also have a great sense of wonder and exploration about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would be really happy being somebody who was researching deep ocean creatures or that spent their time studying the ocean. I have a real connection to the ocean. I feel very, very good when I'm near it. Yes, I would love, oh my God, I would love to ride on a submarine. That's one thing that I've always wanted to do. I'm obsessed with submarine films, by the way. I love Das Boot. I love Clear and Present Danger. I love fucking Red Dawn. Oh shit. I love a submarine flick, man. I would love to go on a deep submarine trip. Hell yeah. I'd be spooked by it. I'm not saying that I would face it with no fear, but I would love to do it. I would love to have the opportunity to do it. A voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip, 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 ocean man. Crust of a tan man back by the sand, soaking up the first of the land. I played Subnautica. That one, it spooked me. Because there's big monsters and shit, you know? Here there be monsters. You ever think about going skydiving? Yeah, I've thought about it. It's something that I would consider doing if I ever got down to a healthier weight and shit. I'm way too fat to skydive right now. You're like, I think the laws here in America are your first skydive has to be a tandem jump and you have to be a certain BMI or whatever to fucking do it. So I might do something like a skydive. I think it would be fucking totally amazing and intense. My mom has did a skydive. My stepdad did a skydive. My dad actually did a skydive as well. So I feel like, fuck, man, if they can do it and survive and go on living, I can do it too. I want to skydive, bro. Oh yeah, the hunt for Red October. Yeah, not Clear and Present Danger. Or not Red Dawn or whatever. There's a Soviet sub in San Diego you can go inside that I want to see. Reddit's in bad shape though. Yeah, dude, just getting to go in a submarine period is not something that's super attainable for most people. Busking stream someday or riot. What do I busk? How do I busk? How do I busk it up? See, I wouldn't know what to busk. What do I busk? Just advice? Busking makes me feel good. I guess I could busk tarot readings. Or palmistry. My old grunge songs a cappella. Yeah, those would go over real well. Yeah, dude, I could have like a whole menu of stuff that I busk. Could have tarot readings, palmistry, storytelling. Oh no, dude. My voice is not in any fucking position to busk with, dude. Can't do it. No can do. Definitely would not do a musical busk. I'd have to do some kind of dude. I actually thought about doing it, but I know how territorial it is and shit. Cause in like Washington Square Park in New Orleans, or whatever that park is called, that's right there in the fucking quarter. I can't remember. I think it is Washington Park, whatever it is, Lafayette Park or whatever. There were tons of people busking like palm readings and tarot and shit. And I was like, dude, maybe I'll try this. It'd be kind of cool. But I know that I'd probably be yelled at if I tried to set up shop. Sell my beard trimmings roadside. Yeah. Beard trimmings, $2. Yeah, dude, cards. All right. Well, I'm going to end this. Thank you guys for chilling. I'll see you next time. Bye.